I have 6 books that I consider to be my most disappointing reads, so let's get into it. By far, my most disappointing read of this year was Somewhere Beyond the Sea, and I still overall liked it, but the first book far, far outshines the second book. I thought what was really successful about the first one is that you have kind of like this grumpy man that's going to this orphanage to essentially try to close it down. And then they become like a cozy family, and it was all cute. And we have all these like outcast children, and it was sweet and it was great. But this book, I felt like was overshadowed a lot by the author's personal beliefs. And while I think they are very important to discuss, it just took away from the cozy feeling of the first one. And it was essentially the same story, but with just more of his personal beliefs, and it's just not what I was expecting. The book that I hated was The Housemaid. I had a lot of opinions. This was one of my book club picks. Me and my book club, I don't know. They really are going to kick me out. I just really hate these types of books that are just like these popcorn reads, which I do enjoy that they are easy to read and they're very accessible and they're just like, fast paced, blah, 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 blah. But the writing in them is so god awful that it's like, I felt like Chat GPT wrote this book. And again, I'm not a stickler. Maybe I am a stickler. I don't know. I don't feel like I'm a super stickler with writing. Like I can tolerate a lot of it, but when the entire book is just god awful writing, I don't want to read it. The next book that I was a little disappointed in was A Fate Inked in Blood. I really liked the Norse mythology aspect of this book, but I have noticed this trend in romantasy in the past, really since romantasy became really, really popular, is that I just feel like we have this checklist of, things we have to hit, and every story is exactly the same. And that's what I felt with this one. Also felt like this book was a lot telling and not showing, and the battle scenes, which were written very well, were not long enough. And so it was just like we have this battle scene that we have all this anticipation for, and it's over in like 5 pages. I have similar feelings about garden spells, but it was just really lacking in really everything: character development, plot. And I understand it's a cozy fantasy, but like there's just like nothing happening at all. The last book that was disappointing for me was Lady Macbeth, which is a retelling of Macbeth, obviously, because the writing was just not for me. It was like, how to describe it? It was just kind of like clunky and prosy, and I don't know. It wasn't for me. But I stuck with it because female rage, and there was some at the end, and I did enjoy. But I mean, I would have DNF'd it. It was longer, but it was a relatively short book.